Chapter 14. I always enjoyed playing ball, and it didn't matter to me whether I played with white kids or black. I never understood why an issue was made of who I played with. Willie Mays, center fielder, San Francisco Giants. House's heartbeat thumped in his ears. I didn't love him. I didn't know anything about him. You visited him every day for 1 whole year, said Pip, and you never found out nothing about him? I didn't ask him questions. Why didn't you, House? House thought about it. Well, he was sick. Pip nodded his old gray head and stroked his chin with 2 fingers. I see. Yes, he was sick, but his mind was good. Where is your sense of wonder, House? You missed the opportunity to know a great man. They stood in the great man's house in the dark, the silence between them. House tried to think of a reply. He scared me at first. Folks are scared of what they don't know, said Pip. What else? My father told me to come, said House. He said I could be useful to an old man who was going to die soon. I know what you did, Pip said. I set it up with Norwood, and then with your daddy. You did? I did. The flashlight bobbed along the wall with no particular aim, bouncing like a spotlight on Norwood Boyd's life in pictures as Pip talked. Doc McRae spoke with your daddy about it a year ago, and when we lost some of our help, my granddaughter Gladys and her family moved to Jackson. You know the story. Doc McRae and I knew Norwood was going to need more watching over in the glooming hour before supper and bedtime. Norwood told us you'd be perfect for the job. He did? House fidgeted. You're wondering why, ain't you? He didn't even know me. He knew you. How? Now you got questions, said Pip. Now when it's too late to ask Norwood about 'em. He knew my mother, said House. He'd shown Pip. He knew something. Yes, he did, said Pip. We all knew your mama very well. The answer surprised him. In the shadowy hallway, House blinked back tears. Everyone knew his mama but him. But of course, they would have known her. Your mama was special, Pip said. Hearing his mother was special to someone else was more than House was ready for. I'm sorry, he mumbled. His nose began to drip. Sorry by itself doesn't do anybody any good, son. You got to open your mind, House Jackson. You got to wonder. You got to open your heart. Pip aimed the flashlight beam at the library door. You got business in there? House shoved his hand in his pockets and shook his head no. I think you do, said Pip. Norwood said you'd be here the night he passed. He said to wait for you. Now I have. He handed House the flashlight. Electric was canceled today. They cut it off, the juice. He walked to the front door where his finger was an inky spot in the darkness. I told you that baseball story for a reason, son. It's up to you to figure out the meaning of it. So I'll leave you to your business. Good night. He turned to go, hesitated, and then spoke one more time. He kept his back to House. I know you don't like my girl right now. I know she made it hard for you last year. House responded, Yes, sir. She didn't mean to. And with that, Parting Schultz walked out the front door of Mr. Norwood Boyd's home and shut the door behind him, leaving House alone with only Eudora Weltley and a hallway of old photographs for company.